You think the RV industry stopped building simple, affordable units because nobody wanted them. That is the story. That is what they will tell you. But there is a number buried in the industry's own data that blows that story apart completely. And once you see it, the real reason they killed the basic RV is going to make you genuinely angry. The numbers that destroy the official story. Here's the setup. In 2018, roughly 1 in 3 new travel trailers sold in America was priced under $25,000. By 2023, that segment had collapsed. Entry-level RV sales under $25,000 fell more than 60% in 5 years. Meanwhile, units priced over $60,000 jumped over 140% in the same window. The average new travel trailer transaction price in 2024 sits above $40,000. That is not inflation. That is a decision. Manufacturers looked at the bottom of the market and deliberately walked away from it. The Keystone Springdale is gone. The Starcraft Autumn Ridge is gone. The Coachman Clipper, which was the entry point for a generation of first-time RV buyers, was discontinued without a direct replacement at the same price point. Manufacturers did not lose money on these units. They chose to exit the segment because those models did not generate enough profit per unit compared to the technology-loaded luxury trailers sitting next to them on the lot. What the industry actually did was look at the buyer who needs basic affordable recreation and decide you are not worth our factory floor space anymore. That is the polite version. The impolite version is they concluded entire income brackets simply were not profitable enough to bother with. The official explanation, and why it is only half true. The official explanation is cost, and to be fair, it is not entirely wrong. Material costs rose. Labor costs in Elkhart climbed. Federal safety and emissions regulations added compliance overhead. Manufacturers point to these factors, and the logic holds up to a point. You cannot build a $15,000 travel trailer in 2025 with 2019 input costs. That part is real. But here is what most people do not realize. The technology loading in modern RVs is not happening only because of regulation or because buyers demanded it. There is a third reason, and the industry almost never says it out loud. Every touchscreen, every connected module, every app-integrated control system in your RV generates something. Your location when you camp, your power consumption patterns, your appliance usage, your travel routes, your service history, and your behavioral data as an owner. A basic RV, a dumb RV with no connectivity, no app integration, no cellular modem behind the control panel, generates none of that. And that is increasingly the problem. A simple RV with no connectivity is a dead asset to the modern RV business model. Think about what that actually means, because this is where things shift in a direction most people have not tracked. The RV is not just a product anymore. It is a data collection platform with a kitchen and a sleeping area. The data revenue model the industry never discusses publicly. McKinsey estimates the connected vehicle data monetization market will hit $750 billion globally by 2030. The RV segment is a component of that market that is growing faster than analysts projected 5 years ago. Insurance companies pay for your camping behavior patterns. Campground chains pay for location data. Service providers pay for appliance failure predictive data. Retailers pay for consumption behavior. Progressive's Snapshot program already adjusts premiums based on driving behavior. RV manufacturers and their connected platform partners are building the same architecture into recreational vehicles. General Motors' OnStar division was caught selling driver behavior data to insurers without customers clearly understanding what they had agreed to. The same class of undisclosed data transaction is being built into the connectivity infrastructure of modern RVs. The data leaving your connected RV has real and growing commercial value. A stripped-down entry-level unit with no connectivity produces none of it. So from the manufacturer's perspective, a basic RV is not just low margin. It actively costs them a future recurring revenue stream that changes the entire economics of the product category. The simple travel trailer that sold for $18,000 in 2018 was not generating any of that. The $65,000 connected fifth wheel with the app, integrated everything, is generating it continuously. That asymmetry is the engine behind the disappearance of the basic unit. The feature mandate that locks the simple RV out permanently. Starting with newer model year requirements being phased in through 2026 and beyond, federal Federal safety standards and RVYA compliance frameworks are requiring that new recreational vehicles include integrated collision warning systems, connected emergency notification capability, and control architectures that mandate digital interfaces rather than analog mechanical controls. The government framed this as a safety improvement. Some of it genuinely is. But the architecture these mandates require is exactly the same architecture that turns your camping trip into a monetizable behavioral data profile. The law does not prohibit what happens to that data once it leaves the RV. It does not require meaningful consent to sharing with third parties in most cases. Manufacturers lobbying against transparency requirements in vehicle data collection use the same argument every time. They say it would raise costs, slow innovation, and hurt competitiveness. What it would actually do is make the surveillance revenue model visible to the person sitting in the driver's seat. And that visibility is exactly what they are protecting against. Because if you understood that your RV was generating a behavioral profile being sold to data brokers and insurance companies without your specific consent, you might start asking for an RV that does not do that. A simple RV, a dumb RV, the exact kind they have stopped building. The floor plan complexity pivot, proof the market was manipulated. People assume the RV market shifted toward complexity because buyers wanted more features. The data tells a more complicated story. Manufacturers began systematically adding touchscreens, app integrations, automated leveling systems, and connected appliance packages to units that had previously sold on the strength of mechanical simplicity and competitive pricing. Then they pointed at the declining sales of simpler units as proof that nobody wanted them anymore. That is circular. You stopped building the affordable version and loaded the replacement with technology that added $15,000 to $25,000 to the price. Sales of the affordable version declined because the affordable version ceased to exist, so you eliminated the category. The data density per unit argument applies here directly. A $65,000 connected luxury trailer generates exponentially more usable behavioral and usage data than an $18,000 mechanical unit. The shift was not purely about margin per sale, it was about data value per unit in the field. Every connected RV on a campground is a node in a data collection network. A fleet of simple mechanical trailers with no connectivity is invisible to that network and worthless to the business model being built around it. The entry-level buyer was not priced out by market forces. They were written out of the product category by design. Who gets squeezed and how it works? The industry argues that cost pressures make new RVs priced under $25,000 economically impossible in the current environment. Partially true, but the argument skips the critical question. Who benefits from the simultaneous disappearance of domestic entry-level production and the regulatory barriers that block lower-cost imported alternatives? Not the buyer. The consumer gets squeezed from both directions. Import competition is blocked above. Domestic production is abandoned below. You are left with a $40,000 average transaction price, a loan term that has stretched to 15 years on many RV purchases, and a monthly payment that RV lending data shows has crossed $600 for the average new unit financed in 2024. The person who needed a basic travel trailer, whether a first-time buyer, a family trying to access outdoor recreation without a luxury budget, or a retiree on a fixed income who just wants to travel without complexity, has been written out of the new RV market entirely. They are supposed to go buy used. But the used market is still working through post-pandemic price inflation, and many of the used units available at accessible price points are the same feature-loaded connected units they cannot afford new, now carrying deferred maintenance and no warranty. The exit from the entry-level market was not a market outcome. It was a strategic retreat that left an entire segment of buyers with no viable new option. The lobby that keeps the simple RV dead. Right now, the RV industry and its connected platform partners are actively opposing any regulatory framework that would require transparency or meaningful consent mechanisms around the data recreational vehicles collect and transmit. The argument is always identical. It would raise costs, it would slow innovation, it would create a competitive disadvantage against manufacturers in markets with different regulatory frameworks. What it would actually do is make the business model visible to the buyer, and that visibility is the thing they are spending lobbying money to prevent. Because if the average RV buyer understood that the touchscreen control panel in their new trailer was transmitting their camping patterns, their power usage, their location history, and their behavioral data to third parties for commercial use without their specific knowledge, some percentage of them would start asking a different question. Not which features does this unit have, but what does this unit do with information about me? That question leads directly to the simple, mechanical, disconnected unit the industry has stopped producing. The silence around that product category is not accidental. The simple RV is not dead because the market killed it. It was removed deliberately because a basic RV with no connectivity is a liability to a business model built on recurring data revenue and high-margin technology packages. Every entry-level RV model that has quietly exited without a replacement announcement, every basic floor plan replaced by a technology-loaded version at twice the price, every manufacturer statement about cost pressures and consumer preference, those are not market casualties. They are strategic eliminations. The connectivity requirements baked into every new unit make sure there is no easy path back. Every RV you buy from here forward is a connected device reporting your behavior, generating data, and serving a business interest you did not consent to and probably did not know existed. You are not crazy for feeling like the simple, reliable, affordable RV you actually want is being deliberately withheld from you. That feeling is accurate, and it is based on documented decisions made in boardrooms that had nothing to do with your preference for cup holders or slide-out configurations. If this changed how you see the new RV market and what is actually driving it, subscribe to this channel. We publish one forensic audit per week about the business decisions, data practices, and purchasing realities that the RV industry counts on buyers not examining before they sign. The next investigation is already running. Do not miss it.